Let's go back to the accounting cycle. You've just completed your adjusted trial balance. Let's take a closer look. Remember, the adjusted trial balance was created by calculating the adjustments for the accounts that needed to be brought up to date, such as supplies, prepaid insurance, depreciation, and salaries. These are the figures we will use to make our financial statements. Our financial statements will be made in the following order. First, the income statement. Second, the statement of stockholders' equity. And third, the balance sheet. There is also a fourth financial statement, the statement of cash flows, but we'll save that one for a later date. The first financial statement we make is the income statement. Our formula for calculating net income or net loss is revenue minus expenses. So remember, revenue represents the money that we've earned, and expenses are the cost of doing business. In this example, our revenue, $57,300, minus our total expenses, nets us a net income of $12,080. Remember, if revenue is greater than expense, you have net income. If your expenses are more than your revenue, you would have a net loss. The next statement we prepare is the statement of stockholders' equity. You can see that it includes the common stock account and our retained earnings account. The common stock has a beginning balance of $25,000. The retained earnings has a beginning balance of $19,110 for a total of $44,110. The next step is to add the net income calculated from the income statement, $12,080, which is added to the retained earnings balance. Next, we subtract the dividends paid out, $500. This brings our retained earnings balance to $30,690. The last step is to calculate your total equity. So we will add $25,000 in common stock plus $30,690 in retained earnings for a total ending equity balance of $55,690. The last financial statement we will prepare is the balance sheet. The balance sheet is like a snapshot in time, and the date in the header is specific as to the date it is being prepared for, usually the last day of a month. In this example, we are preparing the statement at the end of the calendar year, so the date is December 31st, 2021. The balance sheet includes assets, liabilities, and stockholders' equity. Remember, those are the same things you will find in the accounting equation. You will need your answers from the statement of stockholders' equity to prepare the balance sheet. We begin by listing current assets, which include cash, accounts receivable, supplies, and prepaid insurance. There are other current assets, but those are all the ones that were used in this example. The next section includes long-term assets. These are items of a larger dollar value and are depreciated over time, with the exception of land. Land appreciates. In this example, the only long-term asset was office equipment. We also show its related accumulated depreciation account directly beneath it. The asset will be shown at book value on the balance sheet, which is calculated by taking the cost of the asset minus the accumulated depreciation to date, and that equals book value. Once you have the total for your current assets and long-term assets, you will add those two figures together to get your total asset balance. In this example, that figure is $99,590. Next, you should list the current and long-term liabilities. The last section of the balance sheet is the stockholders' equity section, which includes common stock and retained earnings. You will need the new ending equity balances just calculated on the statement of stockholders' equity to complete this section. The final step is to add your liabilities, in this case current and long-term totals, to the total stockholders' equity and get a grand total. The balance is $99,590. You should check to make sure that figure equals your total asset total. If they do not equal, then you have an error and you will need to go back and find it. Let's recap our financial statements. The first one we prepared was the income statement, which includes revenue and expenses. The net income figure calculated will also go on the statement of stockholders' equity, which includes common stock and retained earnings. The newly calculated ending equity balances on your statement of stockholders' equity will transfer to the stockholders' equity section on your balance sheet. The balance sheet includes assets, liabilities, and stockholders' equity. Be sure when you're finished, your total asset figure matches your total liabilities and stockholders' equity figure. Guess what? We just made financial statements. Congratulations! Way to go!